Hi everyone, welcome to Barnetimen. Here at Vesterheim, we love folk art. And so I thought it would be fun today to share some of the folk art that we have here at Vesterheim, but to show you some pieces that I love, especially because they have hearts on them. Now, you might know that the word for heart in Norwegian is hjerte. Hjerte. So today we'll be looking for some hjerter, some hearts, on the folk art that we have in the collection here at Vesterheim Museum. So let me put on some gloves so that I don't get dirt or oils all over these beautiful objects that we have in the museum's collection. And let's see if we can find some hearts on the beautiful folk art pieces that we have. So let's see. Let's start with maybe an easy one here. Can you find a heart? Bet you can. Heart's right here in the center. This is a loom that is used for weaving bands, small weavings that you could use to tie up your hair or to tie up your socks. So this is a small loom. It has a beautiful heart on it, and maybe this would be a gift that somebody could give to somebody else. So heart's a nice thing to put on a gift, I think. How about this? This is a wallet. Maybe you can see a heart here. Yeah, a heart. And it's even visible when I open up the wallet. And what would you keep in this wallet? Well, maybe you would keep some important papers. Maybe you would keep some money. Maybe some photographs of people that you love. But this is a wallet or kind of a billfold from long ago. Once again, it has a heart on it that somebody had to hand stitch onto this leather. How about some hearts that you can use to decorate yourself? I have a heart here. Maybe you can see it. This is called a sulia, or it's a type of pin, and it's got these spoons or these dangles or these cups on it that kind of move when I move if I were wearing this. But maybe you can see, and maybe you can see better from the back side, that it has this heart shape. I'm going to show you a slightly trickier object, but still beautiful and something that you could wear. So I've got this necklace. Can you see a heart? It might be tricky because this heart is upside down. If I turn this around, maybe you can see the heart on this piece. So sometimes hearts are hiding in our collection, or they might not be as obvious. This is also a piece that you could wear. This is called a Bringaklute. It's a breast piece, something that you would insert inside of the bodice or the vest of a bunad, and it's got beautiful hearts on it as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 hearts. Now, this isn't something that maybe you would necessarily wear, but the stuff in it might be something that you would wear, especially if you love people and you want them to love you because you smell so nice. Here is a heart that is made out of silver. It has these beautiful stones in it. This is called a vinaigrette. And that kind of reminds me of the word vinegar. Well, this inside has a little sponge, and that would be used to hold some kind of liquid to make you smell better. Now, this is what people had long ago. You might dab yourself with that because people didn't take baths as much as we might do today, and so you could get a little smelly, and this might help you do that. Or you could also use it to wake yourself up if you happened to faint. So this is a little vinaigrette. It has a nice little heart, but then also this beautiful crown. And so somebody took a lot of time, a lot of care to make this. All right. We also have things in the museum's collection that are hearts or have heart shapes on them that might be for more practical or very usable things, like this here. Can you see the heart? You might not recognize it, but maybe you recognize the inside here. This is where a key would go. So this goes on the part of the lock on the outside of a trunk, and the key would go inside of this hole. But somebody had to make this. Somebody had to craft this out of iron, some kind of metal. Right. Another piece that has a heart on it that maybe you can't see very well, but I will show it to you, is this. It looks kind of like a bird or a goose, and it's used for drinking out of. You can see that it's like a cup inside, but look at this. It has a heart shape. The opening is a heart shape. Try to hold this up here so that you can see that maybe just a little bit better. So this goose has a heart in it. Well, kind of keeping on the food theme here of things that can hold either liquids that we might drink or maybe foods, I have a large box here that also has some hearts on it. Not sure if you can see them right away. They're kind of hiding, but let me hold up my heart, and maybe you can see the heart here if I turn it this way. Or here's a heart here. So this beautiful box might hold something like cheese, could hold butter, could hold a number of things, but probably food. And it has these hearts on it. So maybe whatever you put inside of it, you have made with love. Another tricky object, or at least one that has some hearts hiding on it, is this. Now this looks like just a cup. It's got kind of an opening here. See inside. It's actually used to hold butter, a special cup just for butter. And because it's so special, it also has some hearts on it. So you can make the butter with love, and then you can put it into something that you've made with love and then serve it to the people that you love. This here is also has a heart on it. Maybe you can see that very easily. And this is a stamp that you can stamp your butter with, and you can mark it, kind of mark it with love. So this is a butter stamp. Well, something that I really love are Norwegian pastries and cakes. And so I found this in the museum's collection. Maybe you have had a sandbakel before, or a sand tart. And this is the mold that you would use to make one of those. Now they come in different shapes too, but I happen to like the heart shapes. And last here, I have a toy. And here's the base. And here's the part that fits into it. And today, this would look a little bit different if you had a large one. But long ago, even the large ones that adults would use, not just the ones that kids would use, look just like this. And this is to make heart waffles. So inside, I bet you can see the hearts. Maybe you've had heart waffles before. I think that they're delicious and a great way for either you to show someone that you love them or for somebody to show their love for you. Well, now I want to share with you an activity that you can do on your own or with family, and you can make some hearts to hang up in your house or to give away. All right, time for a fun art project that you can do at home. So let me go through the different materials that you will need to make a coffee filter paper heart or watercolor heart here. This is what your end product might look like. But first you need some materials, and if you go to the information about Barnetimen, you will find this this sheet here of instructions that'll take you step by step through this process of making your own watercolor coffee filter heart. And also on the second page of the instructions, there is a template for the heart, which you might need unless you're interested in doing it sort of freehand. So let me just go quickly through the different materials, and hopefully these are all things that you have at home or can easily get for yourselves. So you're going to have to make a heart template. I just made one really quickly out of some paper, and you can do the same, or like I said, you could just do this freehand if you'd rather do that. Because we're making coffee filter watercolor hearts, here we have some coffee filters. You will need some markers. Now you can use either the washable markers or just sort of plain markers like this, but do not use permanent markers like Sharpies, because those will not allow you to create the watercolor effect. I have a pencil for tracing. If you're going to be using your template, scissors for cutting, and because it's watercolor, we're going to need some water. And so you can either have a spray bottle of water, or you can do this by putting some water into a container and using a paintbrush, and you can just paint the water onto the heart. So whatever works for you best, use that, or whatever you have. Now, this is not a super clean project because of the water. So if you want to control the water, it's good to have some absorbent paper towels. And so I'm going to use some of those, and maybe to have a surface that you can work on. So you could either lay out some newspapers to trap the water and maybe the running markers, or you could use a plate. I have a plastic lid here that I'm going to use. You could also use some paper plates. So let's get started. The first thing that you'll need is your template, and I've already cut mine out. I'm going to take my coffee filter here, and I'm just going to spread it out so that it's flat. They usually come kind of curled up like this, and I'm just flattening this out here. I'm going to take my template, and I'm going to take the pencil, and I'm just drawing around that template in the center of the coffee filter. Now you're going to cut out the shape that you have made. And sometimes this is a little tricky for younger folks. So if you have trouble with scissors, ask somebody else to help you with that. I'm going to cut this out, and it's pretty quick for me to do that. So I'm just going to cut this. Now, once again, you could do this without a template. You could just freehand making a heart, and that's pretty easy to do. And I'll show you how to do that once I finish cutting this out. So you can see now I have a heart shape. And I should note, and those of you that have made coffee before, you know that these filters kind of stick together. So it's best if you can get one single filter and not have a couple put together. So let me just show you quickly how you could freehand this heart shape as well. And you've probably done this with paper before, or maybe you haven't, but you can just fold the coffee filter in half, and on the folded line here is where you want to cut away from that. So I'm going to just cut away from the fold and make myself a heart shape. So let me open this up, and you can see that I have made a heart shape. So you can do it either way, whatever works best for you. Just going to move my other pieces out of the way. I'm going to grab my surface here so that I can color on my heart. So you want to take your markers, and you can do whatever you want, whatever designs, whatever colors you want to make. It is kind of fun, I should say, to mix colors and to make your own colors. So let's say that I wanted to eventually have orange, then I might use red and yellow and put those together, because the colors will bleed together and they will mix together and make new colors. But today I'm feeling kind of like purple, so I'm just going to make some lines here. You could color in, you can make dots. Maybe I'll use some pink. And I'm just going to make some dots around here, and maybe up here in the corner, I'll just make my own little heart, and I'm going to color that in. Then I think I'll use some orange and Maybe I'll make some squiggles on there. You know, you can do whatever you want. Color it as much or as little as you would like. All right, so you can just kind of see the decorations that I made on here, the designs. Now comes the fun part. So I suggest that you get a paper towel, and I'm going to fold it up like this just so that it's a little bit more absorbent, and also because my heart isn't quite that large. So you can then spray your heart with water, or you could paint it on as well. That works well too. So let's spray this just a little bit here with the water, and you'll start to see that my heart, I'm going to hold this up, the colors have started to bleed. Okay. Now you're going to want to make sure that this is dried completely. So just leave it on the paper towel and wait until your heart is completely dried. And when it is dry, then maybe it will look something a little bit like this, or it might look a little bit more like this one. Now, if you use the regular markers, and you make it very dark, it will probably end up looking something like this. If you use the markers that are washable, your colors will be just a little bit more faded and might look something like this. But I think these both are very beautiful. Now, what can you do with these? Well, these would be great to hang up on your windows because the light would shine through them. These would be great to add to a card that you're making or giving to somebody special. You could even join these together with string or with ribbon, and you could make a garland to decorate your house. So there are lots of options for how to use or to whom to give these hearts. Well, thanks for joining me today, and thanks for having a look with me at some of the hearts that we have in the museum's collection. Once again, at Vesterheim, we heart folk art, and we heart or love you too.